Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to another video. I am Brittany Shawley, and this is my Miracles of Mind ministry, where we learn how to change our minds from fear to love, from pain to joy, through the application of A Course in Miracles to our minds, our relationships, and our lives. Thank you so much for being here. As you see above, today we are talking about what it is that we can do when we find ourselves in a pissy mood or an upset mood or just feeling like irritated. And so I would like to invite you to get comfortable for this conversation. We are, of course, going to be diving into a teaching of A Course in Miracles, but I am not as much going to read it as I'm going to make it applicable and practical to you in your life so that you know exactly what to do when you get triggered. You know exactly what to do when you get upset, when you get irritated, when you get pissed off. Okay. This is your time to learn mind training tools that are going to help you feel more at peace and more joy. So let's do this. Okay. Let's dive on in. Welcome home, beautiful souls. So, with that being said, let's start on our reading today. Today, I'm going to be going through the rules for decision in chapter 30 of A Course in Miracles, but I'm going to miss the first few questions because I've gone over that a lot in one video on the rules for decision, and I have another thing on my miracle morning, and I have lots other stuff on my blog and my YouTube about starting our day right and how important it is to start our day right. But there's not as many videos on what to do when the day goes wrong or when we actually do get upset and in a pissy mood. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to tackle steps 4 to 7 in the rules for decision, because this is what you need to be applying when you notice that you're not in alignment with yourself or with love. So the first thing that I want to say is that it's totally okay to be feeling whatever you are feeling, to be experiencing whatever you are experiencing. It's okay. The first step in overcoming it is to just meet yourself right where you are. It's okay. I'm feeling this way. Okay. And that's okay. I'm not going to blame anybody else. I am not going to point the finger at anybody or anything else. I'm just going to let it fall in my lap, not so that I feel blame or guilt, but because for me to be responsible. So I'm going to learn how to respond to my emotions. I'm going to learn how to respond to situations that trigger my emotions, and we're going to move through it in a different way. So the first thing is to meet yourself where you are and say this one thought. That one thought is, at least I can decide that I do not like how I feel now. At least I can decide that I don't like how I feel now. That's step number 1. When you notice that you're wonky in your feelings, you need to admit to yourself, at least I can admit that I don't like how I feel. We've even applied this with my daughter, for example. So if my daughter is getting irritated at something because I told her to get off of her iPad and she's not getting off of her machine, and I come back the second time a little bit more direct and she gets upset, either she can blame mom, she can blame the TV, she can blame whatever she wants, or she can be like, you know what, hold on a minute. I don't like how I feel right now. And meet herself right where she is. I've seen her apply this so many times. I do my best to apply this and demonstrate this to her as often as humanly possible. And this is something that we can all apply to. At least I can decide I do not like what I feel now. Doable, right? Step number 1, totally doable. Great. So what this does then is it leads us into the next step. And the next step says, and so I hope I have been wrong. I hope I have been wrong. Step number 2. This is the one that I've even done a meditation on this for you guys. That's called When I Am Not at Peace, I Am Happy to Be Wrong. Why? Because when I am wrong about how I'm perceiving a situation, then the spirit can be right. Divine inner guidance can be right. But for as long as I think that I know what the problem is, for as long as I think that I know why I am upset, or I think that I know how to solve it in my own way, well, then the spirit can't get in because you have already decided. You've already decided. So instead, Jesus is trying to teach us in A Course in Miracles that when you realize you don't like how you feel, just admit that you don't like how you feel, but also admit that you hope that you're wrong about what you're feeling and why you're feeling what you're feeling. Because if you are wrong, then it can open up to the spirit being right. And trust me, we want the spirit being right because the spirit is the answer to our problems. The spirit contains the solution to every problem and difficulty we have. So we want to be humble and be wrong so that the spirit can be right. And for me personally, anytime I'm not at peace, I am happy to be wrong because it gives me an opportunity to know there's another way. If I'm right, I'm justifying my pain, I'm justifying my upset, I'm justifying my pissed offness, and it's going to stay right the way that it is. That's it. It's just going to stay, and it's going to keep returning over and over and over again. But I'm happy to be wrong. And when I'm wrong, spirit can be right. So I'm going to like step back and maybe open to something different. That's where we get to step 3, you guys. The step 3 is I want another way to look at this. So we realize that our feelings are pointing to what we're thinking. And Jesus is helping us to work with what we're thinking when he says, I want another way to look at this. So one way to look at a situation or a person is going to be pain or upset. When we are wrong and we open up to spirit being right, we're given a new way to see. And that is a whole new way to see that person or situation, which brings us understanding, which can bring us compassion, which ultimately brings us peace. So we want there to be another way to look at this. Right? I want one. Like I maybe at this point don't know if there is one. I maybe at this point don't know what it is, but I want one. Right? We could do that. Right? We could do that. We can get to the point of being like, okay, I don't like how I feel right now. Okay. I hope that there's another way to see. Actually, I want another way to see. And that leads us to the 4th step. I want another way to see. I want another way to see because I don't like what I'm seeing right now. I want another way to see because I don't like how I feel right now. That's why we want another way to see. Oh God, please God, let there be another way to see. Right? Oh my goodness. Okay. So this leads us to step 4. Step 4, it then says, perhaps there is another way to look at this. Perhaps there is another way to look at this. What can I lose by asking? Okay. So this is basically saying that you want another way to look at this. Well, perhaps there is another way to look at this, and there is. So what's the harm in asking? Might as well ask if I don't like what I'm feeling. I don't like what I'm thinking. I don't know what the problem or solution is. So I might as well ask. What do I have to lose? What do I have to lose? And Jesus in the Course is constantly telling us that when you ask him for guidance, when you ask him for the answer, when you ask him to take the fear from your mind, when you ask him to just help you or guide you, period, right? Just lead me, guide me, help me. Okay. He will answer us. And that answer is always a gain. It is always a blessing. Okay, it is always something that is going to shine light and bring more of God's will to us, which is perfect happiness. Okay, so there's never, ever, ever anything to lose in saying yes to him. Okay, it may appear that there is something to lose because the ego is a big fan of sacrifice, and it's going to tell you all of the things that you're going to lose if you ask and let him lead. But that's just fear, keeping you in fear and away from the answer to fear. Okay, but to realize that there's nothing to lose by asking really positions us to ask for another way to see. And then that ultimately, my friends, leads us to step number 5, which is asking for another way to see. That's all that it is. Okay, so what do I have to lose by asking? Nothing. So God, I want another way to see. Show this to me differently. I'm willing to be totally responsible for what I feel and for what I think. Just give me another way to see. Show this to me differently. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's it. That's step number 5. And then you listen and you breathe and you allow and you receive and you realize that the answer for you may come as a word. It may come as a sentence. It may come as a vision. It may come as a feeling. It may come as a knowing. It will come in many different ways to you, my dear, because we all perceive things differently, and the Holy Spirit knows how you perceive and what works for you. So it's going to come down the pipes for you from him, customized to you. Okay. This is where we practice the asking and receiving. This is where we practice the listening and the learning. This is where we practice the stepping back and letting him show us a new way. This is healing. This is ultimate healing. And so what Jesus is saying is like, that's okay to experience crappy days. You have an ego, you're on earth. It's to be expected. It's all good. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's blaming you. Nobody's thinking you need to be anywhere other than where you are right now. But just recognize those moments when you are triggered and you're anything but peaceful and happy. Notice those moments when you really have fallen off the path and you're not doing so well, you're not feeling so well, you're not caring for yourself or others in the way you know you could or would or should. Okay. Those are the moments that we need to apply tools. And this system of 5 questions basically is tools. It's tools for you to apply when you realize you've fallen off that path, because only you can bring you back on. You are responsible for what you think, and you are responsible for what you feel, just like I'm responsible for what I think and what I feel. So I am responsible when I recognize myself not thinking with love and not feeling loving to get myself back online. Okay, I've had a bug in my software and I need to have a whole malware software put on top of my software to heal it and fix it and take it out. So that malware software that's going to fix a virus or to fix the bug are these 5 questions. So let's just go through these 5 questions one more time, just so that we can kind of have just a finality on this conversation here, something that you can take with you into your daily life, with you into your daily experience, so that when you get triggered, when you feel like you're having a pissy day, when you feel off, when you feel not well, when you feel not yourself, that you have a very practical way of getting yourself back online, that you have a very simple way of getting rid of those bugs and those viruses that have plopped into your own psyche, your own being. Okay. So those 5 pointers are: first, at least I can decide that I do not like how I feel now. And so I hope I have been wrong. I want another way to look at this. Perhaps there is another way to look at this. What can I lose by asking? And then ask, and then ask, then ask. Your heart knows, your soul knows, your being knows. Just do it. Doesn't matter the words you use, doesn't matter the way that you do it, written in your mind, spoken, whispered out loud, talking it to somebody else, whatever, going for a walk, speaking it to the universe. However you want to ask. Fall to your knees. Okay, do it in bed before you go to sleep. Just ask. Asking is our superpower. It is our ticket to receiving. And it is only those who know that they do not know who ask. Children who know they do not know ask their parents for the answer. Children of God who do not know that ask their Father for their answer. And our Father, our Creator, has given us His voice, God's voice, the voice for love, the voice of the Holy Spirit that is in our mind. And the voice of the Holy Spirit wants to speak to us, wants to heal us, wants to show us how to see things differently so that we can feel different. But that means we need to get out of our way and ask Holy Spirit instead of asking our own ego. We need to learn the process by which we get out of the way and can ask Spirit instead of ego. And this is the process. This is the way. So my friends, if this is helpful for you, please let me know below. Okay, just say yes. That will let me know that it's helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, say yes. Because then I can make more videos of this like nature. And if you have any questions yourself, please ask them below. And I'm happy to do more videos on you. And if you just found value in this video, then please like and subscribe and share this video with anybody with whom this is meant for. This is really just a way to bring these A Course in Miracles teachings practically to our lives so that we can be blessed and help bless. That's what it's all about around here. So my friends, thank you for being with me. Thank you for joining with me. If you want links to the rules for decision, I will put them below so you can check out the PDF, or you can get the free Sparkly book. You only have to pay for shipping, or any other details that can help support you on your awakening journey are down below in the show notes. And that's enough from me, but I love you. Thank you for being here. Peace be with you. And I will definitely see you in the next video, and I look forward to it.